This is the Ultra Instinct / Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku guide. Gonna get you from D5 to B5 and a little more, pretty easy. We're gonna start with the basic video before I make an intermediate to advanced version, because just like Stalingrad in 1942, if you give the retard the Barrett 50 cal, it's not gonna be much of a use, is it? The timestamps are on screen. Okay, 3, 2, 1, ball game. First things first, when you just start into the game, you're gonna have one key bar and your opponent is gonna usually have 2. My key is gonna be infinite right here, just for an example. Next up is Ultra Instinct's passive ability to dodge things on its own. Do not input anything on your controller or you are going to get hit. The key here is to do nothing. You are able to dodge rush attacks and normal non-charged key blasts. Your opponent can grab you through this, and if they dash behind you while charging up an attack by holding square or X, they can hit you. If your opponent dashes behind you and doesn't charge any attack and just delays a hit, then you will dodge it. This works for both Ultra Instinct Sign Goku and Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. This also works if your opponent is in sparking mode. Take note that this does use key per dodge, so if you run out of key, you will get hit. Ultra Instinct Sign Goku's first skill is called Even Greater Potential. It costs 2 skill points and it just fills up your key bar. We also get buffs from this. As you can see, we get an increase in melee damage, our defense power, and increased movement speed for 15 seconds. It cannot be used to blast away your opponent, and it has no iframes. Okay, for his second skill we have You'll Never Beat Me. It costs 3 skill points, and what it does is it instantly sends you into sparking mode. It also gives us 2 buffs. As you can see below, it gives us increased key damage and increased damage on our X and Y. So those 2 abilities down there, you'll have extra damage when you use them. This can be cancelled by key blast or any other attack, so it also knocks away your opponent. If your opponent is retarded enough to let you transform in front of him, you can also knock them back and combo immediately afterwards. And then you can just send him off, and then you can do your thing like that. So for Sign Goku's first blast skill, it's called Kamehameha Sign, and it requires 3 key bars to use. Basically, it's just a Kamehameha beam. Your opponent can vanish it, deflect it, and block it, so be careful of that. Also, the unique part about this is that it can go through buildings and damage your opponent. For his second blast stock, it's called Flash Shine, and it requires 3 keys. What it is, it's a dash ability. The opponent can vanish this, and they can also dodge this, so be careful. There is a delay in the attack because it gives you an animation where you step back, so you can use that to bait out your opponent's grab. So if your opponent is really grab heavy, what you can do is you can drag and dash by doing R2 and double tapping X. Then you can ult, because they're going to step back while they try to grab you. Then you're gonna be helpless as fuck. His ultimate blast is called Point Blank Kamehameha, and it can be vanished or blocked, so be careful. Now for Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and his abilities. The first skill is called Ultra Movement and requires 2 skill stocks. This allows you to automatically vanish and counter any attack that isn't a grab or certain ultimates. You can activate any skill after this or do a Z-Ref dash by R2 double tap X. This skill is a one-time use per activation and lasts for 15 seconds before it deactivates. If your opponent is good enough, he can vanish the counter attack. As I said before, this can also work for certain beams and certain ultimates like Jiren's, for example, right here. His second skill sends us into sparking mode just like the one from Ultra Instinct Sign, but this time we have some more buffs with us. This time we have an increase in melee attack power, key blast attack power, both our black stock damage, defense, and our key recovery speed for 15 seconds. His blast 1 is Ultra Kamehameha. It takes 3 key charges, and you can tap it like this, or you can charge it up for more damage and more range. This can also go through buildings, but it won't do any damage. His second blast stock costs 4 and is an instant teleportation across anywhere on the map right directly in front of your opponent. This can be blocked, however. I am at the sky limit and Gohan is on the ground floor. Both forms have different movesets. They have a different sidestep triangle animation. The kick has super armor and will beat your opponent square. It takes longer for Sign Goku to do the flowy kick. It can bypass a regular guard. Therefore, this makes Sign Goku's combo potential limited and floor. They both take the same input to do a low sweep into a flowy kick. Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is the only one who has access to the rolling hammer, which turns your opponent around. They both can do a lift strike by square and up triangle, then X to dash towards them. Hit square for a delay, so you can reset your combo and not finish it. Mix your combos how you want, but here's an example of what you can do.